Good morning, friends. We are doing a story kind of at the end of Jesus' life today. So I'm going to read it to you from our children's Bible, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So we're going to start with the story of when Jesus washes the disciples' feet. Jesus and his disciples gathered together for a special Passover meal. Jesus knew he would be leaving them soon. After supper, Jesus removed his outer clothing. He wrapped a towel around his waist. Then he filled a bowl with water. Jesus washed and dried the disciples' feet one by one. Then it was Peter's turn. He said to Jesus, "Lord, you should never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "I must wash your feet, for you are to be part of my kingdom." Then he said to them all, "As I have washed your feet, you must wash each other's feet." By doing this, Jesus showed his friends how to love and serve one another. Jesus told them, "One of you will turn against me tonight." His disciples were shocked and said, "We would never do that." "Who will turn against you?" John asked. "The one I give this piece of bread to," said Jesus. And he handed it to Judas and said, "Do what you must." Judas left quickly. Then Jesus did something else. He picked up a loaf of bread and blessed it. Then he broke it into pieces. He gave the bread to his disciples to eat. Jesus said, "This bread is my body. Every time you do this, think of me." In the same way, he took a cup of wine and blessed it. He gave it to the disciples to drink. "This is my blood. It is poured out to forgive the sins of many." This time has come for me to go away. Where I am going, you cannot go with me. I am going to heaven to prepare a wonderful new home for you, but I will return to you soon. At first you will be very sad, but do not be frightened. Soon you will understand, and you will be filled with joy. All right, so Jesus knew that his ministry on earth was about to come to an end. It was almost time for him to return to Father in heaven. At the time of the Passover, his disciples came to him and asked, "Where should we eat the Passover?" Jesus told them to go into the city and find a man and tell him that their master would come and eat the Passover meal with his disciples at the man's house. The disciples did as Jesus told them and prepared the supper there. Jesus got up from the supper table, put a towel around himself. Okay, so here are the disciples eating the Passover meal. Put a towel around himself, poured water into a basin, and began to wash the feet of the disciples. Remember when we talked about he came to Peter? What did Peter say? Peter said, "You shouldn't be washing my feet, Jesus." Jesus explained that Peter wouldn't understand now, but in the future he would. Peter still refused to allow Jesus to wash his feet until Jesus told Peter that it was the only way to serve Jesus. After Jesus had washed their feet, he went and sat back down at the table, and he spoke to the disciples that they must also serve and not just be served. Then Jesus told them that one of them would betray him. Remember, that was Judas as he passed them the water. Let's see. After they were done with dinner, they went to the Mount of Olives. The disciples did not understand that Jesus was going to die. They assumed that he would be with them much longer. Jesus came to earth for us. The Father sent him to give us freedom from sin and to allow us the opportunity to spend our eternal life with him in heaven. The Last Supper is important because it shows us how to practice communion. Communion is a time for us to make sure that we are living lives that are pleasing to God, asking forgiveness for sins of our lives, and to remind us of the sacrifice of Jesus dying on the cross. This is a time to focus on the love of Jesus and to remember that Jesus served others. All right, so that is our story today. Like I said, it's at the end of Jesus' life, and he's showing the examples how to serve others. And serving others is so important, but sometimes you have to let others serve you too. All right, so I hope that you have a really great day today, and I will see you tomorrow.